Alrighty, what's going on, folks? We are here with another reaction video. I know the last one I did was about the Steam Deck. Well, the Steam Deck is the most interesting piece of technology currently available that is Linux based, so it makes sense that I would cover it a little more than some people might care. And I'm always curious to see why people will title something this way. You know, we had one of the Cho doucheberries decide to, oh, the Steam Deck's awesome, but it sucks. And, you know, we had one guy that didn't even own the damn thing. So I want to know, homeboy here owns one. I want to see why he regrets buying one. And hopefully there are some valid reasons. I mean, if you don't like it, cool, that's your choice. But, like, have some actual solid reasons other than, it's not Nintendo.
Hello and welcome back to a new video. So as you can see, I have my Steam Deck inside of the protective carrier case, and that is because unfortunately I think I've come to the decision that I regret buying the Steam Deck and I think I'm going to sell it. Now, I originally bought the Steam Deck because I'm planning to do some traveling around Asia in the beginning of October, and I needed a gaming device that I could put in my backpack and I could just carry around with me and play some video games when I'm bored. And I thought the Steam Deck would be really great for that because it allows me to play PC games that I can't play on my Switch Lite. So this is my Switch Lite, and in comparison to the Steam Deck, you can see how insanely big the Steam Deck is. Now, I don't have very big hands, but if you want to use my hands as a reference to see how big the Steam Deck is, it is just really big and bulky. It's okay if you're at home, but I don't really want to be putting this inside of my backpack when I can just chuck this into my backpack, job done, easy peasy. This thing doesn't weigh a thing, and it's got some pretty
I do love the fact that Homeboy takes a $200 device and tosses it out on a minimum of a $400 device. Way to go. As far as travel and all the other stuff, hey, do you, dude? As far as the Switch versus the Steam Deck, bro, the ergonomics on the Switch are 100% garbage. Anybody who has played handheld mode for more than 10 minutes will tell you that. The Switch Lite is essentially just the Joy Cons bolted onto the side that you can't remove. So the ergonomics are basically the same. Most people who have gamed for any serious amount of time on their deck will tell you otherwise about the ergonomics of the Steam Deck. So, ergonomically speaking, from every bit of other opinion and use case and people that have used it, overwhelming majority say that the ergonomics are better. As far as it being big and bulky, yeah, it's big. I'm not gonna say it's a small device, but it's also using a full power x86 64-bit architecture. You're holding a thing that uses an overglorified 2016 mid-range smartphone processor. Kind of different. So different design. Um, as far as you're not fitting in your backpack, dog, I don't know what backpack you carrying a man purse. Like, damn, because I use a messenger bag and mine fits in it perfectly fine. That's with the laptop, the dock, the charger, and everything else that goes in that bag too. So I'd say you might want to look at what you're carrying for a backpack, bruh.
pretty good games on it. It might not have every single game that's on Steam, but it's got quite a good collection of games on the Switch Lite. And I feel like I'd just rather have the Switch Lite. This thing is so weightless. Look, I could lift it with one finger compared to the Steam Deck, where it's just kind of heavy, kind of bulky. There's no way I would even try to one finger this thing because it's just a bit of a beast of a machine. So this is my backpack that I'm planning to take with me to Asia. And as you can see, when I close the Steam Deck into its protective carrier case and I put it next to my backpack, it's actually very big compared to my backpack. It's like a third. This way, horizontally, it's a third of the size of my backpack, and then vertically, it is a third of the vertical length of my backpack. So when I put it into my backpack, look how much space it takes up in my backpack. It takes up so much space in my backpack. It's so big, and compared to the Switch Lite where I can just slot it in there, look, you can't even see the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite just kind of disappears into my backpack, and then you can't even see it anymore. But the Steam Deck is so bulky and already I can feel it's pretty hefty and weighty, and I don't even have my other things in my backpack yet, like my laptop. And my tablet. It just feels way better to have this Switch Lite in my backpack in case I want to do some quick on-the-go gaming. So my other problem with the Steam Deck has to be the price. So I was a bit silly and I decided to buy the most expensive version of the Steam Deck, which in hindsight is not really necessary. So there's different models of the Steam Deck. There's the cheapest version, which only has about 120 gigabytes.
So, first off, yes, there are different tiers of the actual Steam Deck. You have the highest end model, you have the lowest end model. Get your facts right, because it's fucking 64 gigs, 256, and 512. That is more storage than any of the Switch will offer you without the micro SD card, because the OLED is what, 64 gigs? Woo! Thanks, Nintendo. As far as what I would recommend most people do, if they're willing to open the thing, that is up to the consumer, is take the 10 screws off that you need to, spend the $30, $40, $50 for a 512 NVMe and put it in. And there you go. Storage problem solved. So, and that's with the $400 base model. Now, as far as regretting your purchasing, that's totally fine. I'm not going to rag on you, for being like, well, I probably shouldn't have bought the high end model. I'm buying crap and it's like, I could have probably gotten with a lesser storage, or, take your pick. So I'm not going to rag on that part.
Of storage, I think. And then you got the mid-range version, which has about 250 gigabytes of storage. And then I decided to buy the most expensive version, which has 512 gigabytes of storage. And that cost me about £565. Compared to this Switch Lite, which only costs about £200 when I bought it from release. I think it came out in 2019, which is when I bought it.
Again, one has economy of scale at this point, because it's the same SoC they've been making for the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, however long the SoC's actually been around in that form factor. Shock! The Steam Deck is a new product with a custom SoC from a company that has not done hardware like this, specifically, at scale. So yes, the cost is going to be more. But then again, this also isn't using the same type of hardware that would be in the Switch. So there's different costs in manufacturing. It's a weird thing.
And the reason why it's kind of silly to buy the most expensive version of the Steam Deck for the storage is because you can actually put in an SD card. All you needed to buy was a £20, was it £20 or maybe £100, 1 terabyte SD card, and put it in there. And then you would have boosted your storage by 10 times and you wouldn't.
What they won't tell you, and the problem with the 64 gig model, having had one before I upgraded, was that the comp data files, which are the things that make, Windows games run on Steam OS, take up a lot of storage. And I mean a lot. Then you add in things like shader compiling and everything else. It adds up. Yes, you can move like the shader cache and that stuff to the SD card, but there is a performance hit because of read-write. So, yeah, there's pros and cons to that bear approach. Trust me, I tried it.
Have had to spend the extra, £200 on the bigger version of the Steam Deck. Not the physically bigger version, the bigger storage version. So my other problem with the Steam Deck is, although it can play PC games, which is great and everything, I don't know why you would want to be playing so many hardcore PC games when you're traveling. For example, I'm going to go to Thailand in October. Am I really going to be sitting around at home playing video games all day when I should be exploring the country, seeing what it's all about, enjoying the food and the people and the culture, and trying to get new memories and experiences in life? I don't really see why I would want to be sat around playing some kind of dedicated PC game when I really should be doing other things in my life.
That is probably the most asininely stupid take I've ever heard. So, the Steam Deck, you want to experience life. The great thing is, this helps me untether from sitting here to do PC gaming. It does what the Switch does in that regard. It untethers you from having to sit here in front of in the Switch's case, a console. You can take it and go. That's what the Steam Deck allows PC gamers to do. However, saying that it's hard for hardcore gamers, bruh, have you looked at the games that are actually being played on the Steam Deck? Like the top 10 games that get released each month that Valve is showing that get played. Go play like Vampire Survivor, and that's like one of the top games on the Steam Deck that gets played. That's an indie title. That is literally meant to be played in bursts. That is the dumbest argument. Can I play hardcore games on this? Yeah, but the nice thing is I can just hit a button and it goes to sleep, just like the Switch when it comes to that. and you can just go about your business, one and done. So the Pro that you're saying with the Switch is the same damn Pro that you're going to get with the Steam Deck. It's just going to be a different variety of games, and honestly a better variety with better performance, generically speaking. And I was speaking as someone who, I own a Switch. The fact of the matter is the Switch is starting to show its age. Go play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and tell me that there isn't frame rate stutters in cutscenes, because there is. So your argument's a bit, that particular argument's bullshit.
Life at this stage. I just kind of regret buying it now, and I really don't see myself playing a lot of PC games when I'm out and about traveling, and I don't really want to sacrifice so much storage space in my backpack just for this big thing when I'll probably not really use it a lot. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to decide not to bring it with me to Thailand, and I think I'll just
And like, look, if you're a Nintendo fanboy, cool, whatever. That's your prerogative, bro. Game where you want a game. I'm not gonna slag on you for choosing what you choose the game. I'm gonna slag on you for dumb reasons, or reasons, quote unquote. Especially when they're contradictory to exactly the same thing you were just saying and giving pros to the Switch about. And I also rag on you for the kind of shit way you treat your electronics.
go with the Switch Lite. I might not even bring the Switch Lite, to be honest, because I'm not actually playing a lot of video games these days. I feel like I'm at a stage of my life where video games are just something you do when you don't have anything better to do. If I had more interesting things in life to do, I'd rather be doing that. Or
That sounds like a you problem, not a video game problem. So you bought technology for basically no apparent reason. So I wouldn't say I'd be regretting just buying the Steam Deck. I would also be regretting buying the Switch if I was in that case. So it's not that the deck is a problem or the reasons you have are generically valid for the most part. It's just that you're the problem. Short and sweet of it. And it doesn't matter if it was the deck or the Switch or some other portable that you could take. The problem is your MO towards gaming is just kind of fucked.
trying to be more productive. It's just when I've got nothing to do and I can't think of anything to do, and I've done all my chores and done all of my little tasks I need to do, I don't really have anything else to be filling my time with, and that's when I play video games. I'm trying to change that habit of mine, and hopefully traveling again will give me more things to do. And that means I won't really need a dedicated PC gaming handheld device. Also, again, the battery life, I'm not really that impressed with it.
That also means you won't need a Switch either.
It lasts about an hour, and I don't know anyone who only plays games for an hour. For example, if you're stuck in an airport or on an aeroplane, 1 hour of gaming is pretty rubbish. And where are you going to plug this in to charge it? You could bring some power banks, and I do have some power banks here.
Have airport much? Airplane much? I know when I travel on a train via Amtrak and everything else, they have, every seat has an outlet. Most planes have outlets. Novel. Just saying. Again, for a guy who wants to travel, you seem not to understand some of the logics and fallacies of your argument in travel. And if you're going to travel, you would also get power banks that do have some type of solar collection on it, so you can always top them off. You'd fill them up in, say, a hotel or a hostel or wherever you would go. And as you use them, you would use the solar panels on that device to actually charge and try to top off what you can. But apparently world travel is not your strong suit, I guess.
I've got these two power banks that I velcroed together. This one doesn't really charge the Steam Deck because it's too low of a wattage. It only has like it's like 10 watts or a 15 watt or 20 watt charger for mobile phones and tablets. and it does charge the Steam Deck, but very, very slowly. You cannot play the game whilst charging it with this at the same time because you're
Bruh, if you're gonna be using that particular charger, you would probably charge the deck in between using it anyway as you travel, so the deck would actually be charged when you pull it out to use it. Again, see solar chargers as well.
just drain the battery faster than it charges. So I got this chunkier, beefy battery bank, which says 100 watts. So this is actually for laptops and more powerful devices. You need at least a charger that has at least a 40-watt power outage, so it has enough power to charge the Steam Deck, because it's quite a beefy machine. And even with this big thing, I think it's about 26,000 milliamps, but in reality, it only has about 15 or 16,000 milliamps of actual chargeable electricity inside of it that can be stored. Because when I did my testing, with this plugged in, the big one plugged into the Steam Deck whilst playing Hitman 3 for hours and hours, this thing drained so quickly. It drained my battery bank in about 3 hours. So you got 1 hour from the Steam Deck's battery and then 3 additional hours from this big.
You do realize there's battery saving measures on the Steam Deck as well. Try hitting the giant button that says Steam, and it'll take you to the home page. Then hit the triple dot button, or in game, actually, just hit the triple dot button and go to the thing that looks like a battery icon, and you can change a bunch of shit that'll make it better. Drop the frame rate down to 40 instead of running at max settings. Drop the resolution down to maybe it's scaling higher. Maybe drop it down to 720 as opposed to native. There are ways to save the battery life. The point of the experience on the deck is that you choose it. You want higher settings? Guess what? That experience is going to give you less battery life. Trade-offs, pros, cons. Pick your gaming experience. The console mentality defines the experience currently. Nintendo defines the experience. So games like SAO Fatal Bullet, they run at the 540 at 30 frames. That's the experience, because that's the hardware can do. This hardware is different. They let you choose how you want to experience gaming. It's a novel concept. I know it's weird for a console gamer to figure that out. But as far as your battery stuff, I'm not saying this Steam Deck has a great battery life, far from it. But your claim is about as accurate as Valve's 2 to 8 hours.
Fat battery bank. So you got about a total of nearly 4 hours of total gameplay. I mean, you could buy another 2 of these and then you could triple your battery life to like 9 hours or 12 hours. But you're really going to carry 3 of these. It already weighs a ton. So I'm going to have to carry all this plus this. This is like, oh, it's like a laptop. The weight of this is so heavy. It's like 2 kilograms. And as someone who likes to travel light, this is really
2 kilograms. Roughly like 5.6 pounds, give or take. Give me a break. Lift a bag heavier than yourself occasionally.
really killing my travel light backpack and my setup. This is really going to hurt my shoulders and my back when I'm out and about, and when I'm going from hotel to hotel and getting on trains and going hiking and stuff. I really don't want to be lugging this around. Look how heavy that is.
Homeboy, if you have a hotel, you wouldn't be taking this shit with you to begin with, you dumb motherfucker. As simple as that. If you're out exploring, this is not shit you take with you. If you have a area you are staying in, a room, a hotel, whatever, this is not shit you're gonna take with you. This is shit you're gonna leave back at the hotel.
When in comparison, you could probably get like 12 hours of battery life from the Switch Lite just using this tiny, smaller battery bank. I still have to bring the battery bank because I'm going to need battery juice for my phones and stuff. But I'd rather just not have to bring this with it when I probably won't realistically use it a lot. I don't really see myself using it a lot because, for example, when you're traveling in airports and you're on planes, you're usually very tired and stressed out because now you've got to sit on an aeroplane for 10 or 12 hours straight and it's going to be really uncomfortable and unpleasant. It's not really the kind of atmosphere or environments that you want to sit back, relax, and have a good time playing video games. It's kind of a situation, environment where you just want to put your heads between your knees and cry.
No, traveling in an airport and traveling, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 hours is you sleep and you do everything that is mind-numbingly possible to keep yourself entertained and preoccupied so that time goes by. That is what you do. Is the experience of travel as a coach great? Fuck no. But you do everything you can to make it less shitty. So if you want to curl up in the fetal position in the back of the plane, that is totally your prerogative. I'm going to be busy at least having an hour of at least somewhat enjoyment of a video game. So that's one less hour that I'm bashing my head off the interior of a said plane or mode of travel.
And just pray that this stupid plane journey is going to be over soon. I just feel like I'm going to be too stressed out to be able to enjoy any kind of video games, and I won't even take this out of the bag, really. I'm just going to try and shut my eyes and try to fall asleep. So I think I kind of made a mistake buying this for the purposes of traveling and gaming at the same time, and I think I'm going to set it on eBay maybe.
Hey, well,
So, ironically, Camping with Steve video. So I will just say your reasons, most of them are kind of bullshit. If you think you're going to travel with a bunch of different gear in that one bag, you, my friend, have not done world travel. If you think a laptop bag is going to carry everything you need, you are sadly mistaken. And if 4 pounds, 5 pounds is going to hurt you, how the fuck are you going to hike with anything? You're probably one of those that finds a hard time walking up and stepping up on the curb. So, by all means, travel the world, bro. By all means, Steam Deck's not for you. Yeah, cool. I'm just saying your reasons are on the side of a Nintendo fanboy, and that's fine. Rock out Nintendo, do you. But really what it boils down to is you bought something, you've regretted it, it didn't fit you, what you needed or you wanted, and that's fine. But you're trying to find justification for it on the internet. And people are going to poke at your reasons and say they're fucking stupid. So here I am poking at your reasons saying they're fucking stupid. The only one I'll give you is the battery life. If that had been your only reason, totally valid. I want to travel, bad battery life. That's all you had to say. But complaining about weight, oh, I don't game as much. Motherfucker, give me a break. You're shilling for Nintendo. And FYI, learn to treat your electronics better, shit.